going to be day one, a violent vertical edge setter.
I see some gas on the edge. Get that mindset to put your shoulder on somebody. Dig, drop, you're finished. Hey, first down. This is weird, dude. Worse than that side.
Hello, righty, what's going on over here? It's the After Hours Jets Fest, everybody. I'm doing this weird new thing over here on YouTube. I guess I'm able to do the regular show, and there's a shorts show at the same time. I wish somebody may not wish. I don't have to wish. If I'm wishing, I ain't wasting a wish on this shit. If a wish comes true, it's going to be something good. But if somebody could be so kind as to do me a favor, go on, maybe look on my channel, look at the short section and see what it looks like. Because like right now it's showing me, it's supposed to be this new thing where it gives me like a short but it looks like my face is all cut off. Like what the fuck's the benefit of that? Anyway, that all said, it's first time ever happening, so I'm weirded out about it. But that all being what it may, hello, I'm GreenBean. Welcome to the After Hours Jets Fest. This is the show that follows the show, right? And this show tends to be a little bit different than the other show. The other show is much more, it's more substantial. Ryan is an amazing, he runs the stream and he's, Ryan's great. And Matt O'Leary, the consummate professional. And then there's me, so this is just me alone. So it tends to be a lot different. Then we talk about things like spatchcock. I mean, that's what we do. That's what we do over here. This is going to be Spatchcock Central tonight, where we really dissect the meaning of some of the techniques behind spatchcocking. If you guys don't know, like I said, I like to say it. I like to say the word spatchcock because I feel like I'm getting away with something. That's the truth. I'm 50 plus years old and I'm a child. That's what it boils down to. I'm like a little tiny baby boy and I like to say things and I like to get away with stuff. But welcome everybody. This is my, probably my favorite thing to do all week. Remember back in the beginning, if you were with me, if you're new here, hello. We ask that you hit the like button, the old milk dunk, and subscribe to the channel. I have a goal of 15,000 this season. I'm right under 14,200, so not that far away. So close yet so far. But the way that this channel started was I was alone. I would come live and I would just talk, and I was in the RV. Remember? I was in the RV and we would just talk to the wee hours. I had no day job. So we were just, my wife and kids and I were just driving around the country, riding roller coasters and shit. So we just, we did this whole thing. And so a large portion of what I did back then was live, with no internet. Remember, I had no idea where I was going to be at any given time in the internet, at these RV parks and in mountains. When I was in Sedona, the internet was so bad. I had to drive 45 minutes to get to the first place where I could do a live stream. And then I would do it in the back of my truck. Remember that shit? Rusty, you were there. I don't know if Tony Alexio was around yet. Maybe you were, Tony. You've been around a while, but I don't know if you were there yet. But anyway, so we would do all this stuff all the time. I would do it alone. But then now I don't do this so much. And even when I do live streams, there's somebody else with me. Like on the game streams, Frankie and Jeremy are with me, and sometimes Dom C and even Gunny from time to time. And then the Thursday Thick of It, which I'm not doing this year, but that's Gunny and Dom and me. And so this is the only show where I get to do live with you guys by myself. So I like that. Let me know in the comments if you were here then. The old GreenBean in the truck days. Let me see something here. I'm going to actually go back. Let's do a little memory lane tonight. Maybe not right now. We'll talk some Jets first, but I want to do a little memory lane action. Let's see. Let me see something here. And we'll let's take a look at like the old days. You know what I mean? We'll take a look. I don't like I said, I have no idea. You guys must really like me because especially back then, I have no idea how my channel was built with the videos I was making back then. Now, granted, there was a significantly less saturated Jets content market when I was first starting. It was like Matt, Ryan, Let's Talk Jets, Tyson and Primetime and those guys. Long Beach Joe was out there. Boy Green wasn't even on YouTube yet. He was a podcaster. Gangrene David was out there. This is pre-Jake. Like nobody that was it. That was all of us. You know what I mean? Like maybe a couple more. I just forgive me. I forget. So that's probably why. But I look at the internet, man, like back then, like I don't even know how you guys watched it. Like, look at this. Holy shit. Wow. So this is what if? What the fuck is that? I did all kinds of weird stuff. Like, let's go to the weekly rant. I used to have the Sunday sit down. What is that? I used to have the Sunday sit down in my RV. This is 4 years ago. It has 110 views. Anyway, we'll do that in a little bit. We'll wrap it up. I'm in the mood. If you guys want to hang out, we can do that. But Swamp Ranger checking in. You guys know Swamp Ranger is great. He's out there in Hawaii. So it's like, what time is it out there? I guess it's probably, well, you're 6 hours, if I remember correctly, right? So it's 4 a.m. Is that right? Kansel Matsuzawa, the Tokyo Toe in round 6 or 7. Give us a kicker for the next decade. A Huey Howie bean. I don't know that one. When you say, what's the other one? No, obviously Aloha, but the other one that you say that I know, I just can't think of it. You say I'm Howley, right? I know that one, which is true. But I don't know that one. A Hui Hoa? A Hui Howie? A Hui How? Hui How. So the Kansel Matsuzawa, the Tokyo Toe. The Tokyo Toe kicker. We got to watch. I got him queued up. I'm going to look at that guy, Swamp Ranger. See if that's our guy. So Flight Boy checking in as the newest member. Amazing. Now there's 2 of those. I don't know why it came in twice for you, buddy. But welcome, Flight Boys. Thank you so much for the support. Sincerely, I appreciate it. You guys can all join the channel. It helps me keep going. And you get some stuff. I got to add. I got like 3 emojis I can add. I'll do that, and I'll do a better job adding some stuff. But then, you get the super chat every 2 weeks, I think it is, twice a month. I believe it is. Maybe it's once a month. But yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate it. You're the man. And what I'm working on connecting the Stream Beaners and the Beanbaggers. There's 2 groups and the Discord and everything like that. I'm working on it being one. So then that'll be really cool because the Beanbaggers are fucking awesome. Like that's a great group of dudes in there. And we do the fantasy league, which I suck at. And, we do Wednesday night. Last week, we watched last week so we meet every other Wednesday. And what we were doing, we watched the only victory of the 1996 1-15 season. What a blast. What a blast, man. And it's so funny. You can just see how piss poor the team had to be coached because, dude, we had Adrian Morrell, who's not Curtis Martin, but he's no slouch. He's a fucking very good running back. We had Richie Anderson, who's a stud. We had Keyshawn Johnson, Wayne Corbett, Jeff Graham. Our defense, we had Marvin Jones, Mo Lewis, Bobby Houston. These, they were, or no, it wasn't Bobby Houston. Maybe it was, Sam Cowart, maybe. But, you know, it's like, I mean, you can see it. It's like the team, dude, there's no way 1-15. Mid Flair says, I've been here a long time. Yeah, man. Rusty Spooner says, those times were awesome, though. Weren't they, though? We were just like digging in. Like, even from then to now, like the mock drafts, like all the simulators that are out there now, like there's just so much. Even like you think about it 15 years ago, Rusty, like when we had to be, if you wanted to be a draftnik, you had to go out and get those draft papers. You had to get like, you know, NFL Weekly and, you know, draft fucking whatever it was called, you know, ESPN draft special. And you had to go to like Quick Check or 7-Eleven. You had to buy it. And then you'd sit home and look at all this, pour over all these numbers, you know? Now it's like, but so from then to this, it's different. But then even just that 4 or 5 years ago to now, totally different landscape. Totally different. Like anybody can be an expert now. And that's not necessarily bad, except that a lot of people use it to like make other people feel inferior, which I think is just such bullshit. Like I've been telling you guys for years, man. Like I have been, you know, nerding out on the draft, and a lot because I was on Jets message boards, and those guys, like, believe me, when I was the novice, like there were guys in there that like taught me how to do this, man. These guys were badasses. And so we would just talk. I've been doing this for a long, long time, 20 years of like watching the draft. And even before knowing what I was looking at, I was watching it. Like we used to watch the draft. We'd get together with some friends and we'd, you know, we'd drink some beer and fucking watch the draft, smoke a little crack, you know, you know, get some pizza, smoke some crack. But yeah, you know, and I've been telling you guys for years, like, dude, I look at all my drafts over the years. Now, I'm not a GM, obviously, and I don't have the wealth of information that the NFL teams have, obviously. But, dude, the players that I have and would have chosen over the years, the teams that I would have assembled over the years, they look very much like the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Steelers, the Niners. They get my players every year. And it's crazy to watch. And the Jets, who always, every GM we've had, they always feel like they're the smartest guy in the room, and they always do this weird shit. They pick these players like in the third round that you never heard of, and you trust us. We got our evals. We're fun. Like, stop overthinking it. And you know, and like thinking you're the smartest guys in the room, like you found the golden nugget. You're overcomplicating it. Everybody and their mother knows that's the best player, right? You need an offensive guard. There's one. He was a first-round talent. He's sitting there for you at the beginning of the third for whatever reason. You don't overthink it, and you take him. And they go, yeah, we're gonna take this guy, and everybody's like, oh yeah, he was fucking. We had him as a 6th-round talent. You know, Mike Maccagnan. Mike Maccagnan, I don't even want to do it, but he was so bad, dude. It was unbelievable. And I tried to defend him. You know what? I defended Mike Maccagnan to a degree because I didn't like when we were doing this weird thing for a while, like we were hiring the GM with a coach already here. And I didn't like it, you know, like, so we fired Tanny and Rex was here when Idzik got here, right? That's why we only got John Idzik, because no other real GM was like going to take that job. Like, no way. I mean, I don't even get to hire a coach. Like, get out of here. So, and then we fire Idzik and Rex, and we hire Bowles before Maccagnan gets here. So I was like, what is this? So 5 years later, we fire Bowles, and I was like, Mike Maccagnan should get his opportunity to hire a coach. I was like, anyway. So he kind of did, but his guy was Matt Rule. But remember what they did with Matt Rule? They wanted to They wanted to make him hire. They wanted to pick his coordinators. Like, think about how crazy that is. You have a GM who hasn't built shit. He's done nothing. You have Christopher Johnson, who's only the interim CEO while Big Brother Woody's doing English ambassador stuff. You got these two guys who have zero resume in the NFL. They've done nothing. And they hire a coach. They want to hire a coach, and they say, look, we're going to give you the head coaching job. Here's your offensive and defensive coordinators. He said, I don't want those guys. I want to pick my guys. And you know who he would have picked? He would have picked Joe Brady, was the offensive coordinator he wanted, evidenced by when he went to Carolina. That's who he took with him, right? But it's crazy to think. And then we let him hire. So he didn't really hire Gase because Matt Rule was his guy. And then Christopher Johnson got a call from Peyton Manning and all bets were off. Remember? So anyway, I'm going to go through some of the comments. Jay Reeves says, good times. Yeah, man. RV Bean, right? Yeah, dude. Those were good. That was good shit. It's just, again, I don't know how you guys watched it. Devin saying, hey, man, don't forget to hit those milk duns. Don't forget it. Got to hit the like button. It's important. Again, like Ryan said for the previous stream, it's important. Like, it lets YouTube know that that there's activity on this channel. So when you guys hit the milk button and comment and all, YouTube algorithm goes, oh, there's some noise over here. Let me show this video to more people to see if more people are interested. That's literally how it works. So we'll go through some of these comments, and then we're gonna do that tonight. We'll take a little look at some old stuff. I want to see what you got. I want to see some. I haven't looked in a long time. Sedona is the worst Wi-Fi. Beautiful though. Yeah, I mean, once you get into town and everything, like the Wi-Fi was fine. You know what I was doing? I would drive into like these supermarket parking lots. And then I had my Wi-Fi boosters and everything. Dude, I used to drive around in the RV. I had like the Wi-Fi, the wireless internet things. And I had a Verizon one. I had a T-Mobile one. I had an AT&T one. And then we had something called a Wii Boost, which would boost. It would give like one more bar, And I would drive places. I would do my speed checks. And I had to, like, the minimum I could have to even go live was like 10 upload. That was what it was. 10 upload. Like if I had below that, I couldn't even go live. But 10 wasn't necessarily good. I was shooting for like 15 to 20. It's so crazy because then I moved into my house and it's like, as a floor, I have 45, 50. It's just the whole thing. I would get like 70 download. Now it's like, 400, 500 download. It's crazy. What I was dealing, it would take me like 2 hours. I used to go to like libraries and upload videos. That's how committed I was to this thing. I would have to drive places. Like I would have to go find somewhere else and sit there and use their Wi-Fi to upload video. If I tried to do it in the RV, I would hit upload on a video and fucking go hiking and then come back like 3-4 hours later and it might be done. That's what I was doing back then. It's crazy. Let's see. Yeah, man. Adirondack was there. Yeah, Fly Guy, right, man. What happened to Tigo? He's around. I just don't do the Wednesday show anymore. I don't do as much night stuff. This is my night gig. I kept Tuesday because of the Talking Jets panel, so I'm already here. I'm already live, so I just jump on this. Well, like I just can't do the night right now. It doesn't mean I can't in the future, but I just can't right now. So I don't know what Tigo's doing other than that, Now Starlink, right, Billy? When I was out there, Starlink was like, we were talking, pretty soon they're going to have this Starlink thing. If I was out there now, that would be what I have, no doubt. But now, It's different, right? Again, the world doesn't keep changing, man, you know? Yeah, all the roller coasters, man. That's what I was doing. And then, it's like this. Let me show you guys something. So, real quick. This was when we did the Jets chant on the Cyclone, which we're going to do again next year. We're going to do it. Hold on. Jets, 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 Jets. Pretty cool, right? It's a little short. That was actually us. Like that film work. I think it was Nick Shine that filmed that. Like from the street, like filmed us on there. That's me and my daughter in the front row and Matt O'Leary right behind me. That was great. That was the day I met Matt O'Leary for the first time, like in person. That day. It's crazy. Let me see. I got some super chats to get to here. Let's see. Paris, what's up? Paris was there back in the day. Do you think Aaron Glenn will hire a new defensive coordinator and quarterback coach next season or stick with the people already in place? Well, I was just talking about that in my most recent podcast. I don't particularly like our quarterback coach. Now, I don't really have like anything specific to point to other than Justin Fields. He didn't do a good job with Justin Fields. Now, I don't know if he could have or not. I don't know. But first one, Justin Fields failed at it. Whatever you were doing with him didn't work. So, and again, I don't know if that's his fault per se, but it is what it is. But here's what I think. He was a running back guy, a running backs coach. And he did some quarterback coaching, but he's not really a quarterback coach. If we're going to go and use a premium pick and bring in that new guy that you got the whole team built and you want to be the face of the franchise, I am of the school of thought that you should have every available resource intact to support that guy being a success. And in my opinion, a former running backs coach who kind of knows quarterback isn't fit in the bill. You should have a team of quarterback coaches, in my opinion. One guy all he does is work on quarterback agility and all that kind of shit and throwing motion, and the other guy's working on the playbook. And, so dude, it's like, I don't know why we chintz out. Like, again, Zach had Calabrese. The fuck is Calabrese? He's not even a position coach now. Before Sammy had Adam Gase. Adam Gase didn't even hire a quarterback coach. Think about that. And we wonder why these guys fail. Like, you can see it. If you just look, you're like, well, of course. It's like showing up at the big race with mom's minivan. Going, well, it's got an engine. It's pretty fast. It's got a 6-cylinder with some turbo. It's got econo mode and overdrive. It's like, dude, there's no way that van's winning this fucking race. No, it's got a chance. And you put it out there against a Tesla or what. It's like, of course it's going to lose. And that's what we do. So now getting to Steve Wilks, I really don't know, man. Like, I would like to believe that Aaron Glenn, a year now coaching the New York Jets, sees that, like, you need, like, this kind of old guard of coaches and not even really good coaches. Like Steve Wilkes is good enough to have gotten a head coaching job. He's good enough to have been chosen for interim when a head coach was fired. Like, so he's a quality coach. He's been around a long time, but nobody's getting fooled by this idea that Steve Wilkes is going to somehow create a defense that's going to rock the world. It's just not happening. He does what he does. So I would like Aaron Glenn to go, okay, look, you were a great help to me my first year. You having all the experience you have. And look, if you want to keep him on the staff as like an senior assistant and all that, fine. But you really want like a young, up and coming defensive mind, somebody aggressive and smart and like filled with energy and passionate. Like Steve Wilkes is just kind of, he's an old man. Right? How old is Steve Wilkes at this point? Steve Wilkes, he was born in 1969. So he's 56, 57, yeah, something like that. So, I mean, not old, but, enough is enough here. Like, you look at his last bunch of jobs, man. He was the Carolina Panthers. Wait, let's go back. We'll go way back. Let's go back to, so he was 2 years with the Bears as a defensive backs coach. He was 2 years with the Chargers as a defensive backs coach. Or you get 3 years, 2006. Carolina Panthers defensive backs coach from 2012, 2014. Then he was assistant head coach with the Carolina Panthers and defensive backs coach. Then he was the defensive coordinator for 1 year at the Carolina Panthers. Now, this is during a time when they weren't very good, too. So then he goes and gets a head. Well, actually, I don't know. Maybe they were good. So they get a head coach. He gets a head coaching job with the Cardinals. It lasts 1 year, and he's fired. He goes to college as a defensive coordinator for 1 year. He comes in to the NFL. He's the defensive passing game coordinator and secondary coach for the Panthers. When they fire Matt Rule, they promote him to interim head coach for 1 year. So that whole thing was 1 year. He's with the Panthers for 1 year. So he's with Missouri for 1 year. Hold on. He's with the Cardinals for 1 year. He's with the Browns for 1 year. Then he's with Missouri for 1 year. Then he's with the Panthers for 1 year. Then he goes to the Niners for 1 year. Then he goes to Charlotte as a volunteer advisor for 1 year. That's 6 straight jobs, 1 year. And now he's been with us. So it's like, I don't know, but I don't know how much he's like helping Glenn behind the scenes and how important he is to Aaron Glenn. I don't know. But I think if you look at our defense, granted, they've shaken it up quite a bit. Is that fair to say? You got rid of Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams and the free agents that they brought in, and Coward and Noddy and in the offseason, they were gone before the season. You trade, you bring on new guys. You got rookies starting at, at cornerback and all this stuff. You could make the case that Aaron Glenn goes, well, dude, he's doing a great job with what we're giving him. And the defense is playing better. And, I don't know. So I don't know. I would like to believe. And look, if you want to keep him around, assistant head coach, like advisor, fine. But I really think, like, if we're going to do this thing, you got a young offensive coordinator. You're going to be bringing in a new quarterback. You want to like get these young guys in the defense, a new safety, a new middle linebacker. You know what I mean? And like, let's get young, man. Let's get aggressive. Let's get, cutting edge. Let's get, somebody who's thinking outside the box, not somebody who's been doing this for 30 years and just knows what he knows. And you know what I mean? I don't know. And I think the real question is, can he spatchcock a turkey? And I think that's important. The Paris says the Cyclone is scary because it's so old that it could fall apart any moment. You want to know what's crazy? That to that point, the Cyclone, which is one of the things that they do with it, because it'll be 100 years old next year, I think. Who's muted? I'm muted. Am I muted? Am I still fucking muted? Hold on. No, I'm not muted. How long was I muted? Was it right after this thing? I wasn't muted a long time, was I? Doesn't look like it. All right. Doesn't look like I'm muted. I'm good. I guess it never was muted when the coaster video was playing for the introduction to the video. Okay, for a few. Okay, good. All right, I got nervous, man, because look, that's not beyond me, dude. And I wasn't looking at the comments for a minute because once I'm talking, I can't read and talk. So I've done that shit. Like people are like, dude, the first 10 minutes of your show, you were muted. I'm like it looked like you were having fun. You looked like you were saying something important. But So, so the thing is, though, is I had a whole thing planned 2 years ago. So not this year, the last year. For we did it 2 years in a row. The Cyclone before opening day. So we would all come up for opening day, but the day before we'd go ride the Cyclone together, and then we'd go get some Brooklyn pizza. So that was becoming a thing. And then this last year I made a big deal about it. So I actually contacted Coney Island, and they were going to give us this room like next to the Cyclone to kind of have like a staging area where we can kind of have a home base. And they were going to let us put all kinds of flags and shit up on the Cyclone, like our Talking Jets and GreenBean, all that kind of shit. And then I got I think Richie was going to come, Jake was going to come. And I was actually talking with SNY very preliminarily to cover it like a jet takeover of Coney Island before the game. And then I had this pizza place, like the one pizza place in Coney Island that could handle like 100 people. We were going to set it up that's where we go right after, and they were going to be ready for us. Like I was doing a big fucking thing. And then what happened is the lift chain of the Cyclone broke, Paris, while people were going up. Now, nobody was in any danger at any point, but it's scary. You're going up an old ass 100-year-old coaster, and then boom, the chain breaks. You're like, oh my God. So it stayed closed. And I couldn't do it. I had to cancel everything. So, it's a little scary. You guys want to see something funny? Let me show you. I'll show you a little bit of I'll show you the roughest coaster I ever went on. I made a video. I think roughest coaster in the world. Okay. Where are you? Let me see here. All right. Roughest coaster in the world. You guys ready for this? I'm going to show you this video. This is the old days, man. So I was doing this, and I'll tell you something. This place that I'm at here, it's actually in Connecticut. It's a small place, but it's really it's legendary because the coaster that they have there called Boulder Dash wins like best wooden coaster in the world all the time. It's this secret gem. Best wooden coaster in the world. But that place, Lake Compounce, you want to know what's really funny? Remember back in the 80s, the guys Milli Vanilli? Remember this? They were singers and they got busted for lip syncing. Like they didn't really sing their songs. It was actually two other guys singing and they were just good looking dudes. And they got busted lip syncing. Like when the track skipped, that was at Lake Compounce. But here, watch this real quick. I'll show you like a half of the video just so you can see how fucking rough this. You want to talk about a rough coaster? Here it is. Let me get you past this. Listen to my documentary voice, you know? Avmo, that's funny. They're muted. Here we go. All right, here we go. Let me. What? Here we go. Video's muted. You can't hear it. Get the fuck out of here with this StreamYard, man. You guys really can't hear that? Hold on, man. Well, it's not going to be fun to listen to if you guys can't hear it. You can't hear it at all? Not me. Can you hear the video? So Hennessy's saying the video is muted. Can't hear the coaster video? Then it's stupid. Why can't you hear it? Hold on. I don't know. Let me see something. Yeah, why? I want the video audio to fucking play, man. Hold on. Yeah, it's not going to work then. It just picks and chooses like what you want it, what it wants to let you hear. It's crazy. Look, you can't hear this? All right, let's try this real quick. Hold on. Let's try one more thing. I'll just show you the. Here we go. We'll try this. Tell me if you can hear this. Can you hear that? Can you hear that? You guys got to tell me if you can hear it. No? Jeez, how can that be? Like, how can that be? I have a microphone next to a speaker. Like, why? right? Well, I guess that's fucking, you guys miss out. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll drop the link in here. I'll drop the link. If you guys want to see it, you can take a look at it. But let's see. Here, where's the chat for my channel here? I'll drop it in there for you guys if you want. It's really interesting. It's crazy how rough the coaster is. It's crazy. And you can see it. You can see it, dude, in the video. It's like nothing you've ever seen. I couldn't believe it. Like, it's so rough that I was laughing hysterically. I couldn't believe what I was experiencing. And believe me, there are so many coasters. People go, oh, it's too rough. And I go on and I'm like, dude, relax. It's fine. You know what I mean? Call IT and get a ticket. Yeah, I should. My wife is my IT. She's in bed. She'd be pissed. If I put that ticket in right now, Eric, she'd be like, I want a fucking divorce. But yeah, that's my other channel. I haven't put anything up there. And you know what's really funny? Let me tell you guys something. I don't ever talk about this, but when I went on the road, me and my wife decided to sell all our stuff, and my wife and I have been talking about taking our kids like on this full-time RV trip to see the country. They're like, since we had our first kid, like we was just like our dream. And then we had this conversation, like my, COVID and my job, like I resigned from executive director down in these rehabs down in Florida, and I moved to Virginia, and I was doing something else for the company. Long story short is I really didn't like it, and COVID and everything was weird. I was doing I was an interventionist, and I was flying around the country and everything to meet with families and all that. And we just kind of sat down one day on our porch in our house in Virginia, and we just said, like, if we don't do it now, it's not going to happen. It's that simple. If we don't do it now, like our kids are at that age, if we don't do it now. So I shit you not, in 2 months, my house was sold. We had an RV and we were on the road. That's how it went. But the thing that I thought would happen, I made this coaster channel, and I thought that was going to be the one that I did. And GreenBean, I was doing Jet Nation videos. I was just doing GreenBean for fun. Like every now and then I just throw up a video and, I record something. I talk some shit about fucking Lachlan Edwards as a great punter or something. And then I just did that. And the weirdest thing, even though some of my videos got 15, 20, 25,000 views every now and then, the channel just never took off. And I put hours, I would film hours and hours in theme parks. And then I would edit all night long I would have like 4 hours of tape, and I would sit there all night and edit it and piece it and do all the stuff. And so I put so much into that channel. And then meanwhile, I'm just blah, blah, blah on GreenBean, and fucking GreenBean's taken off. Now I was like, well, maybe, and then I was getting like sponsorships and shit like that. And the one thing that channel did though, is we would call like theme parks, like lake compounds. I got in there for free. Like a lot of parks, Hershey Park, I would call them. We would just say, hey, we're coming. We're going to make a video. And they would give us free reign of the, they would say, yeah, okay, we got 4 tickets for you. Here's a food voucher. Like they would take care of us. So I got into not all of them, but a lot of them for free, especially the small parks, Kennywood, Seabreeze, Lake Compound. I got in there for free. So that was cool. So I'm sorry you guys couldn't hear that. I'm sorry I dragged you through that bullshit. Sorry. I wish it wasn't that way. I did make it to Wally World. No, I actually didn't, boss girl. That was next on our trip. So this is what was happening. Wally World, as you know, which I know the joke, and I'm with you 100%. But Wally World is actually Magic Mountain. And in California, that was next on our, so we made it to Arizona. The first year I was on the road, we were in Oregon and Washington. And I was coming down through LA, but California, but all the fires pushed us west or east. I couldn't make it into California. Like we had to run, like quite literally. There were fires everywhere. And we had to kind of go out a different way. And so we were like, all right, next year. I made it all the way to Sedona, and California was next on our trip. We were going to hit California, and then I was going to go work at Yellowstone. And what happened? That was right when all the shit went nuts and the gas prices shot up, and I had a diesel. And California diesel was $7 to $8 a gallon, and I'm getting 8 miles to the gallon towing an RV in a fucking diesel. So it was like I quite literally couldn't do it, and it sucked. So we ended up, that was where Sedona was our last stop. And then I did Petrified Forest on the way home, but that was the end of the tour. So 2 years almost to the day. It was like, it was like 25 months. And then so we ended up, we saw the prices and everything, and we just said, fuck it. And we went home. My daughter didn't want to do it and everything. Yeah, I did. I saw that Stud City. So he's talking about, so this Sunday they're doing the Rivals field. You guys going to wear your Rivals jerseys and all that shit? Look, to be honest with you, a couple things. One is I'll get the negative out first. The negatives are, I hate that every year or two they have a new jersey for us to buy. I hate it. Okay. It bothers me on a core level. I'm not one to get, caught up in that. Like you guys know, I won't even buy jerseys unless players get second contracts. And you see that don't even work. I bought Quinnen's and he's fucking gone. And I got Sauce, but those, I didn't buy those. But anyway. So I don't get caught up in the jersey thing as much as a lot of others. Like there are guys, they love it. They collect the jerseys and they buy our first round pick, and that's all fine. I don't have anything against it, but I don't do that. So it also bothers me that like our colors are green and white and black if you want, but that they have the Titans jerseys, blue and yellow. Like that to me doesn't make sense. It doesn't compute to me. I know some of you guys like it. I don't. And I would never wear a Titans jersey. It just doesn't make sense to me. Like I like home field advantage. Like, when you watch a Chiefs game, everybody's wearing red or everybody's wearing white. You know what I mean? Like we don't do that. We don't do that. We got 15 different fucking colors and jerseys and it's like, and I don't know, it just bothers me. Like I want a home field advantage. So again, I'm not judging anybody, but as far as like the Rivals jersey, like Color Rush, Rivals, like I think go fuck yourself. Like that's just what I think. Beat it. I'm not doing that shit. Jake's here. What's up, Jake? You want to come on? I'm going to probably only do like 15 more minutes. You want to hang out? Hold on. I'll send you the thing. No pressure if you don't. Like I said, I'm probably going to do like 15 more minutes. Where is it? Let me see. Here, I'll just hold on a second here. Jakey Poo. Jakey Jakerton. Let's see. Girl, you know it's true. Ooh, 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 I want you. Right? You guys know the deal. You guys know. Fucking Milli Vanilli, yo. Here, Jake, if you feel like hanging out, again, no pressure, man. No pressure. Just a very spontaneous, whimmy thing. But so anyway, and then the other thing that bothers me is this. I think, especially because we have turf, I think that the way that they paint our field is slapdick. Right? I just feel like it looks like shit. Like the middle with our Jets logo, it's like you can see the lines through it. And I just think it's garbage. And I think for the fourth most valuable team in the country or in the league, I think we should do better. And in New York, and, the most expensive, like we're one of the most expensive seats in the league. You know that, right? And our hot dogs are the most expensive. It's like everything's like the most expensive this, the most expensive that, the biggest market this, the biggest market that. And then it's like you look at our field and it looks like shit. Now, that said, that aside, I think they're using, the new logo, this, just the jet thing, the green circle, the green oval with the jet, which I didn't like at first. I'll be honest with you. I was like, what the it looks stupid. I didn't like how it was halfway through the circle, the whole thing. But I'm going to tell you, I've warmed up to it, and they're using that for the middle of the field. Let's say hello to Jake. Hey, how you doing, man?
What's up?
I'm just hanging out, man. What are you up to?
I was at the Rangers game tonight. I got a ticket through work, so I was hanging out with some work people in the ESPN suite, and then I had the Knick game on the TV in front of me, so I was following that. And then I just got back a little while ago. I saw you were on, and I heard you talking about the rivalry jersey.
And you got one. Show it.
I know you want it, so I'm going to send you it. It's a Sauce Gardner one.
There you go.
He obviously never wore this as a Jet, but I'm glad that Fanatics sent me one that I guess I got to wear on Sunday for a player who's not even on the team anymore.
There you go. You got to wear it. You know what's funny? I shit you not, Jake. I was literally so I have multiple emails, which is problematic for myriad reasons. I won't go into it, but I do. And I went through, so I have Bean at GreenBean Jetsfan. I have GreenBean Jetsfan. Then I have other. So I went and looked just yesterday. I was doing some tax stuff and I had to find something. And I saw Fanatics talking to me about giving the whole jersey thing. And I never responded. I was like, oh, you know what I mean? Shit.
Well, they probably would have sent you a Sauce, or I think they sent Richie a quitted one. So
yeah,
it's Fanatics knew these guys were about to be traded. So let's just get rid of it now.
Yeah, let's dump these jerseys, get some positive press before they're out of here. But yeah, I don't know. I would have liked to have a free jersey. I would have felt better about it. But yeah, I mean, what do you think about the jersey? Do you like it? I mean, again, I don't have any judgment
really.
one way or the other.
Yeah, to be honest with you. Now, I totally agree with you, by the way, on the Titans jersey. I think we like the idea of, the New York Titans, it's cool, but it has nothing to do with our color scheme. And I agree with you. If you go to a Jets game, and you brought this up, what is the Jets color of green? There's a million different shades of green within the fact that we wear green. So
yeah,
even if you look at the people that wear Joe Namath era jerseys, there are some that are the darker shade of green, and then there's the lighter shade of green. So we can't even do that consistently because there's all sorts of replica jerseys from the Namath era that have a different shade of green. So I'm with you. I wish we had one consistent color of green to go with the white. I don't love the Titans jersey other than the fact they did win a lot of games when they wore those during that era with Rex. So that's the one thing I could say about that.
Yeah.
But
and there's that very famous one of Revis's best interceptions against the Raiders was in that jersey when the receiver was in the end zone. He was he was licking his chops, and Revis.
You know who threw that pick?
He reached over his head and just took it. It's the best.
Yeah. That was Jamarcus Russell who threw that interception.
Yep, that's Jamarcus Russell. That was before they knew. They were all right, this kid's going to be good. Strong arm. Yeah. No, they didn't know.
That was the Sanchez hot dog game, too, if memory serves.
Was it? I didn't know.
The hot dog game. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, that's great. So, another thing I was saying is, and how do you feel? Maybe I'm off base here, but I feel like the Jets field, the way that they paint it, looks like shit. It just doesn't you look at the Broncos, the logo or in the middle, it's real crisp and clean. And why can't we do that? Why are our hash lines you can see it through the paint, but it's faded. It looks like we painted it once and let it get old. That's what it looks like to me. And I wonder why that is. I just feel you charge the living shit out of us. It's $80 to park. It's, the whole thing. It goes up 15% every year, the ticket price. Why can't we paint the fucking field? You know what I mean? What's wrong with these teams? Yeah. I don't understand what it is, Jake. Do you know anything like that? Why can't they paint the field right?
Well, it's amazing too. When you think about the fact that they share the stadium with the Giants, so you combine the two franchises' net worth, and we're talking about a $20 billion joint entity, let's say, right? They could put grass down, by the way, for the World Cup, but the Jets and Giants who play there for all their home games, God forbid we did something like that. It's an abomination. As someone who has been, to some of the newer stadiums the last couple of years, right? I've been to, Vegas for Jets Raiders. I was in Dallas a couple of years ago for Jets Cowboys. I lived in Houston for 6 years, and NRG, which opened in 2002, is so much nicer than even MetLife, which was open in 2010. Like, I've been to the Super Bowl the year the Rams played the Patriots in Atlanta. I've seen that stadium, right? Like, you go to all these stadiums across the NFL, and then you see what 2 New York-based franchises are playing in. And it just should piss you off if you're a Jet fan that, one, we don't have our own stadium, but 2, if you're going to share a stadium with the Giants and you're going to completely redo the old Giant stadium and have this stadium that's supposed to be a 50-50 partnership, at least make it cool. And there's nothing appealing about MetLife. It is a giant air conditioning unit, and the teams that play there never win. So there's like, it's not even like, well, the stadium sucks, but it's our dump, right? There's no character to MetLife. There's nothing the Jets have had no true great moments in MetLife we could think back to. There's been nothing. So like the whole stadium experience, I think, is just miserable if you're a Jet fan.
It really is. And like, so everything about it. And like you said, like with the 2 teams, you're splitting the cost of everything. You would think they would even like in theoretically, since we're splitting the cost, let's go twice as good. No, they're like, well, let's cheap out even more. Like, I don't know what it is. I want to show you. I want to show you how bad the field has been, though. There's one. Do you remember when we had the trays, like when we tried to have grass, and they did this tray system. So there was like these 10 by 10 squares that, so if a piece of the field got destroyed, they could come in with a forklift and lift one little square up instead of having to redo the field. Do you remember that?
Was that at MetLife, or this is pre-MetLife?
This is Giant Stadium. So it's not MetLife, but I got to show you this. I got to point out there was a game. So the playoffs, Chad Pennington versus Peyton Manning, when we shellacked them 41-0.
Oh, the 2002 season, January of 2003. And you know who sang the national anthem for that game?
No,
you remember this? The great Jamie Lynn Siegler, metal soprano, sang the national anthem before
really
the Jets played the Colts that day. Yeah.
That's amazing. But there were the chunks that are coming out of the field. I just want to find, I don't want to waste our time and look through, but there were, dude, the chunks, they were like this big. Herm Edwards numerous times ran out on the field to like do that, like, that divot thing they do with polo. Like they were stepping on, they had to put chunks back in the field. Anyway, it was so bad. I don't got to drag us through that, but.
Well, did you see the video? I guess it was maybe it was the Madrid game. It was one of the international games where it was a game in Germany where they showed that the stadium, wherever this international game was, they had a system in place where they had multiple field surfaces underneath the bowels of the stadium that they basically could press a button and the field would be underneath the stadium. It'd be on like a conveyor belt and it'd roll over and then roll up, and they could maintain the field year round and have quality grass and conditioning because they have different playing surfaces that are all underneath it. They press a button and it slides up, slides down like it's on a conveyor belt.
Oh.
And I'm like, if the technology exists and we're seeing it for these state-of-the-art, soccer stadiums in Europe, the fact that, again, the Jets and the Giants can't figure out something is embarrassing. And I see someone in the chat said that's Real Madrid's stadium, right? So
Real Madrid.
It was the Madrid game. It was I guess it was the Falcons and the Dolphins like 5 weeks ago. But like I'm watching this and it's like just proof that if the Jets and Giants actually wanted to spend some money and they have the money,
they could do it.
They could do it if they wanted to.
Yeah. Do you remember 2 years ago, Woody was interviewed? You know how like every year at the coaching thing or the owners meeting, Woody gets a soundbite. They can't wait. Like the press are like, ooh, it's Woody time.
Oh, yeah.
They just can't wait, right? So they were asking him about the field, and he said, well, it's not always, there's a lot to this. There's rocks. Do you remember when he was saying this shit?
I think I do.
Dirt, you can't, there's rocks you got to think about. And it's like, you can't screen out the rocks. What are we talking about, man? So it's like, I don't know, it's embarrassing. So we have the Rivals field this week. I don't know.
Do you know what the Rivals jersey is based off? But like, do you see this here? This is supposed to be based on like the sewers of New York was the inspiration for the mesh thing right here on the jersey, which is crazy.
We're dirty, grimy losers. That's
Gotham
what it should
City
be.
Football. And you know what they charge for these things
that's
too?
right.
$190 for this. All right.
How much?
190. This is
Jesus.
190. Thank you to Fanatics for sending me it, but man, it is expensive. And again, Sauce is not on the team anymore. What the heck do I guess I donate this to Goodwill, but like goodness.
Somebody will want it. I mean, look, you walk around the stadium, you still see Sanchez jerseys and all that kind of shit. So, man,
at least Sanchez did something in the playoffs for us, right? Like Sauce is going to be remembered like, yeah, thanks for the draft picks, I guess. We'll see you later. Like we signed you just to trade you 3 months later. Crazy.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, man, he hasn't been necessarily lights out over there. And I'll give him a minute. He's a good player, but I mean, look, Sauce is a good guy. Right, Sauce is a good guy, and really, I'm not rooting for the man that's Sauce Gardner to have any difficulty in his life. He's a fucking great guy. But again, I'm a football fan, and football, as far as football goes, I hope he sucks. Like, I want this trade to be so lopsided, New York Jets. That's just how I am. You know what I mean? Like, again, I want him to be happy, wife, kids, and everything. He's going to be great. But as far as on the field, I don't give two shits if he ever gets a pick for them. As a matter of fact, I'm rooting for him to never get one in his entire Colts career. That's what I want, because I want it to be lopsided. And then, look, A.D. Mitchell, so far so good. If we take a quarterback with one of those, or we get our linebacker or wide receiver, I want those players to be a success. I want everything to look like that was Sauce. Thank you very much. And then the jersey maybe could mean something, Yeah, Eric, I want to say thank you. Just throwing some support. Yeah. And look, Brian Cox, you can wear that jersey proudly, man. That was that linebacking group when it was Marvin Jones in the middle, Mo Lewis on the strong side, and Brian Cox. Dude, they were so feared. Like, it was a badass group. They were getting picks. They were fucking laying the wood. Like, and it's such a different thing. We were watching even this game, because I go with the beanbaggers and we watch like old games and shit. And you could see like the way Marvin Jones and Brian Cox and Mo Lewis, the way, like when the ball was handed to the running back, they went like fucking 100 miles an hour into the hole. They didn't wait. Like our linebackers now, like they kind of wait. Like even Bart Scott did that. Like, and Kyle Clifton, they went into the hole. Like once it was identified that it was to knock him backwards. It wasn't to just bring him to the ground. It was to lay him out. And like you could just see it. Like that linebacking core, man, I would wear my Brian Cox proud. I have a kind of a Mo Lewis jersey. I still have it, but it was one of the cheap ones, that I made, but I don't know. I still like it, but
maybe the most underrated Jet ever, Mo Lewis.
Dude, it's such a shame that people, as soon as I say Mo Lewis, somebody will invariably write in the chat, "Oh, thanks for Tom Brady." Dude, he had nothing to do with fucking Tom Brady. Like, so he was a Jet for 12 years, right? Now, he was ignored, just like we saw it with Klecko, overlooked for the Hall of Fame for decades. Mo Lewis was so good that he had better stats numerous years than Derek Thomas, Junior Seau, but they were the big names, and he played on the shitty Jets. And every year he got overlooked for Pro Bowls and All Pros and all that shit. He switched numerous times. Like when they were a 4-3, he was leading the team in sacks, 10 sacks. When they put him in a 3-4 and they had him outside in coverage, he was getting 6 interceptions. Like the guy did anything you need him to do, and at a Pro Bowl, All Pro level. He finally started getting looked at for all, and he made, I think, 2 or 3 All Pros in a row at the end when Parcells came here. As soon as Parcells came, all of a sudden, Mo Lewis, all pro, because now he's on a team that's getting looked at. But it's a shame. And then he lays Drew Bledsoe out, which, by the way, at the time, he was the first ever $100 million quarterback in NFL history. So he was a big, big name, Drew Bledsoe. It was the September 11th game. It was the first game after that whole thing with the Twin Towers and all that shit. New York. And it was so emotional. He fucking crushed $100 million quarterback. The fact that a 6th-round pick walked on the field and ended up being Tom Brady, you can't put that on Mo Lewis, man.
No, come on. You can't. I mean, you look at the numbers, he should be in the Jets Ring of Honor. The fact that he's not is a gross oversight.
I don't know what it is. Look, love Mangold, love the brick, of course. But they went over his era to go to those guys. I don't know why they skipped him. I don't know what it is. Like with maybe he did something. I mean, I don't know, but he was
I
a
heard
Jet
something about him.
12 years.
Yeah, I know he doesn't have a good relationship with the team, or he hasn't been around a lot. There's something to that. I think, what was it? I guess there was a Brady Belichick. It might have been Gary Myers has a new book about like Brady versus Belichick, and I think Mo Lewis was interviewed in that book. And I saw some sort of comment from Gary that Mo Lewis doesn't have a good relationship with the Jet organization. There's something to it because, again, the guy was a career Jet. You talked about it, the level he played at. He should be in the Jets Ring of Honor. He's certainly deserving of that honor.
Yeah, I agree. It's sad to me because he was like when I was like, I was in high school when he was drafted in the 3rd round. And he was like, when I was in high school, it was like when I was, it was like Mo Lewis, like, the Dennis Birds, like that was the era. Like I shifted over into like the obsessed Jets fan that I am. And he was a part of that, like he was my favorite. Like Mo Lewis was, man.
They're the coaches he played for. I mean, he his first year with the Jets was in 91. His last year was it was in 2003 as a 34-year-old playing in 15 games. I mean, you look at his games played too. It looks like just on games played, there was only 1 year where he was dealing with any sort of major injury. 1996, he only played in 9 games. Every other year, it was 15 or 16 games. Like the guy was the ultimate Iron Man at a position where you inevitably take on a tremendous amount of contact.
Yeah, think about that. Like in that era, like when he went down, it's like it's earth shattering because like you don't even like you just expect him to be there, and he was never taken off the field. He played every fucking down, man. It was just a different time, and he was such a again, when you switch defenses, how many times do we see it? Oh, he was like Jonathan Vilma. He was this great linebacker, but now we're running a different system, so we got to trade him because he doesn't fit in our like what? Like Mo Lewis, all those guys, like they just went, yeah, I'll play here now and kick ass at at this. Now I'm the outside linebacker. Great, I'll just kill everybody here. Like that was the mindset that they had. So it's unfortunate, man. Wyatt checking in. MetLife is cursed, sucks, injures people, and isn't ours. It is valuable though. That's the thing. I think the lease goes to what? 2,110 or some shit like that. It's
crazy. It's a shame, man. It really is because, again, this fan base deserves so much, and the bare minimum is our own place, and we'll never seemingly get that.
And we get nothing. Like we really do. We get nothing. I want to do something real quick, Jake, if you don't mind. I got to do a little ad action here.
Oh yeah, baby. Let's go. Get that cash money.
Yeah. So let me just StreamYard's messing everything up on me these days. But let's see if I can do that. Hold on. I got to switch my thing here. Whoop, there you go.
Yeah.
So guys, I want to talk to you a little bit about Sleeper. You guys know I've been talking about them, and I'm going to tell you why they're so awesome. Because as soon as you download the app, this is what you do. You download the app. The first thing you're going to see is, would you like $20? That's literally what it says. Do you want $20 for free? You say yes by hitting one button. It says, would you like to use the $20? You say yes. They make it so easy. You pick the game that you want to play around with. They show you the prop bets. Is Garrett Wilson going to get a touchdown? Is Breece Hall going to get over 50 yards? You say more or less, you can win up to 1,000 times your money. I turned a $10 bet into $251 in the Falcons game without even batting an eyelash. It was easy. Once you use that $20 to get acclimated, you're comfortable. Then what you do, when you make your first deposit, you use the promo code GreenBean, and here's what Sleeper does. They're going to match $100 of your first deposit. Up to $100, they're going to give it to you. That's $120 of free money on an app that makes it easy to double, triple, quadruple your investment. The number one fantasy app for a reason. Turn game day into payday with the Sleeper app. Terms and conditions apply, everybody. Thank you to Sleeper for hanging out with us, Jakey Jakes.
I love it. Shout out to Sleeper. Great,
Yeah, man.
great product, and always support GreenBean. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, there it is. So we got one more super chat here, and then I'm going to call it a night. I got to go cut trees in the morning. Give me Joe Burrow. Screw drafting a quarterback from MB34012. Well, I don't know. How do you feel about the Joe Burrow thing? I mean, it's going to take at least 2, maybe 3 first-round picks. Are you into that?
Yeah, I'll do it. I'd even probably give 4. I don't think Joe Burrow is going to be traded. 1, he's got a full no trade. 2, I don't think the Bengals are going to trade him. And 3, if he were to be traded, you really think Joe Burrow is going to say, yeah, I can't win in Cincinnati, so let me go play on the MetLife playing surface for Woody Johnson and the Jets?
Yeah.
I don't see it. Look, it's a different situation than Aaron Rodgers, but you think Burrow's going to be like, yeah, I saw what happened to Aaron Rodgers. I want to walk into the Lions den and go play for the Jets. I don't know. I don't see it. And in a perfect world, the Jets are able to draft their own guy and it works out. Of course, that's in a perfect world. So I'd take Joe Burrow in a second, but I just don't find it to be realistic. I hope I'm wrong. I'd love to have the conversation about the Jets landing Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
That would be a lot of fun, but I doubt that happens.
Yep, I feel the exact same way, man. I think it's this is where quarterbacks go to die. And again, we just had Aaron Rodgers. He was great, came here, had that whole debacle, and then he goes to the Steelers. Granted, they're ups and downs right now, but he looks a little bit better than he did here. So it's just one of those things. And then you get Justin Fields again. Maybe not it wasn't a guarantee or anything. It wasn't a real, it was kind of a long shot that he would revitalize his career. But again, it's just one more guy that couldn't do it here. And just like you said, the MetLife field, dude, who wants to come here, play for the Jets, a place notoriously bad for quarterbacks on one of the worst fields in the NFL, for a coach who the fan base wanted to fire after fucking 4 games. I mean, he has a couple struggling games here and we're calling him a bum. You're washed. Get him out of here. So I don't know. I don't know how attractive we are to a guy with a no trade clause. I mean,
that's the thing, right? It's a couple of years ago when the Jets had all these bright young players and they were a quarterback away. It made sense why Aaron Rodgers was attracted to the Jets. But now, you don't look at the Jets like it's one of those young, up and coming teams at this point. There's a lot of unknowns. There's some players here. The counter to everything we're saying is, hey, the Jets O-line is actually really good. So it'd be stepping into a situation where you'd have 2 bookend tackles, a legit Pro Bowl level guard. He would have a number 1 receiver. But I just think the perception of the Jets is so bad right now that there's no way a top 5 quarterback in the league is saying, yep, I'm waiving my no trade so I can go play for the Jets. I don't see it.
I don't see it either. And look, I'm going to tell you, there is something to the idea of let's stop trying to, catch lightning in a bottle, revitalize, rehash, relive somebody else's dream. Just get our guy and get just really support him. Look, if we draft 1 wide receiver, so in the first round, you get Brazel, however you say it. And you're looking at a wide receiver core that's actually pretty studly. You re-signed Brees. You got a strong running back room. Like you said, the offensive line. Dude, this offense really is perfect for a young quarterback to come into. It really is. All that worries me is the quarterback coach thing. I'm a believer that you should put everything you can into building the quarterback. And we tend to, even right now, we kind of got he's a running backs coach, but he kind of knows quarterback. And why do we do that? Previously we had Rob Calabrese. Before that, Adam Gase had fucking nobody. So it's why do we do that? We wonder why these quarterbacks come here and suck. And then you look at the support system that we give them, there's nothing. So I don't know. I think if you do, I just say there's something about drafting your own kid, supporting him the right way, and building that young team. You got A.D. Mitchell being his 3rd year, Garrett Wilson's in his 5th year, Brees in his 5th year. You got to get pretty young core guys, and you just build that together. There's something alluring about that. Rather than trying to see if Joe Burrow can stay healthy, in my opinion.
Agreed. It's more practical too from a contract standpoint, but they got to they got to get it right. I mean, I don't care who they pick ultimately. It's just have conviction, get it right. And by getting it right, you also have to make sure that to get it right, we don't make the Sam Darnold mistake again where he has nothing around him. Re-sign Brees and all the picks that they have acquired here. These, they have 4 picks in the top 50 this year, it looks like. 3 of those picks should go on offense. Like to me, fix the defense in free agency and let's invest our premium picks in the draft in the first and second round on offensive players.
I wouldn't hate it. I'll tell you that. Montana NYJ says, yeah, but Jake Vilma says our O-line is trash. Yeah, Vilma said we should trade 2 firsts for Mac Jones too, or some shit like that.
That was one of the dumbest things that will ever be uttered on a NFL broadcast. I couldn't believe he said that. And look, Jonathan Vilma, awesome Jet, God bless him. Good Lord. The one downside of the Jets sucking is that we get like the D-level broadcast teams on almost every game now.
Yeah. Well, and rightfully so. I mean, it just is what it is. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. You got to earn the Chris Collinsworths of the world. And
now here's a guy. Yeah, we got to earn that. It's a shame. We never went on Sunday Night Football either. That's the real crime and everything that with the last couple of years. Like I remember the first time the Jets were going to play Sunday Night Football when we found out in 2023 when the schedule came out. Wow, the Jets are on Sunday night and it was going to be against the Chiefs and it's Rodgers versus Mahomes. I remember when the schedule came out. We were so excited. Oh, they opened Monday night against the Bills, Dallas in the late window, 4:25 CBS, and the Chiefs week. I was so just jacked up, couldn't wait. And then it ends up being, Zach Wilson versus Dak, Zach Wilson versus Mahomes, and he gave us 2 good quarters that night, then had the fumble late, and we still lose. It's just everything about the failed Aaron Rodgers era and having to still watch Zach Wilson just kills me.
It's so bad. It really is. So I don't know. I think we're on to something. Let's see if we can win out and piss everybody off with the tank.
8-9, baby.
I am on Team Tank. I'd love to do it, but I have no unrealistic expectations. They're going to win at least 1 more, potentially 2. So just brace yourselves, everybody. There's no reason to fall to pieces. It's what's going to happen.
Anyone who didn't think the Jets were going to win that game Sunday, you're not paying attention, man. They never were going to finish 2-15. I think the debate is, do they finish 4-13 or do they finish 5-12? I said before the Falcons game, I think they're going to win at least 2 more. So I have them winning at least 1 more. And I think it's either this game Sunday or the Saints game that they'll win. But I have the Jets at least winning 1 more game, and the tank crowd won't like it. But the reality is they're not one of the worst teams in the league. They're not a good team. But they're not the Raiders. They're not the Titans. They're not the Browns. You watched the Giants last night. They're not the Giants. They're bad, but they're not the worst. And there's a huge difference in that regard.
Yeah. And look, it sucks. Once again, you don't get the golden nugget of that first overall pick. But it's like I was talking about it this week. You got to understand something. A lot of Jets fans are putting their happiness on the hanger, on the coat rack of needing to get the number 1 overall pick. That hasn't happened in 27 years. So, or it would, it's 97 or 18 years, 19 years, whatever the fuck it is. It hasn't happened it's so unlikely to happen that can't be the one thing that needs to happen for us to be happy, because it ain't happening.
No,
it hasn't happened.
I mean, even forget the number 1 pick. The counter would be you want to be closer to 1, so it's easier to move up to 1 if you wanted to go down that path. Or if there's multiple QBs you like, it's easier to go from, let's say, 5 to 2 for your guy. So I get that, but I can't worry about it. There's too many games. The other thing that tanking people don't take into account is the fact that it's not just the Jets that will win another game or 2 down the stretch. I promise you, some of the teams in front of the Jets are also going to win games. How do I know this? Because some of the teams play each other down the stretch. So it's
they have to.
It's on the schedule. I doubt they're going to tie. So it's people just got to relax, man. I can't the people that were so upset over a win on November 30th. Relax, man. There's too many games left. We get to week 18 and the Jets could lose the guarantee, pick 4 versus winning, and they fall to pick 8. Okay, I will understand why many will say just lose. There's 1 game to go, but there's too many games to go here to be actively rooting for the Jets to when Nick Folk's lining up to kick, I'm supposed to sit there and be please miss it. Please. I can't do that, man. I can't do that. I love this team too much. I don't have it in me to do that.
Yeah, it's a funny thing, man, because I'm the same way. I would love us to lose out and get the number 1 pick, but during the games, I'm rooting. You know what I mean? I'm watching the game. I want to see the bomb. I want to see the touchdowns. I want to see Brees pop off. It's just I can't do it. I can't. And I've been rooting for a tank for 15 years. I'm just beat up.
It's gotten us nowhere. So at this point, whatever happens, we'll deal with it. We have all the picks in the world. If they love one of these quarterbacks, they'll probably get him. He'll probably suck. We'll think he's bad. Then he'll go somewhere else. And 4 years from now, he'll be a Pro Bowl quarterback. We'll be here we go again. So once you accept your reality, it's a lot easier to deal with what's coming. That's how you got to deal with it.
Yeah. Right, man. So it's actually 20. Yeah, it's 28 years or 29 years since we haven't had that. Since it's like.
And Parcells traded it, right? I mean, you're
Yes,
talking
he
about the
did.
97 when he
Now,
traded
interestingly
out.
enough, we had 2 in a row, though. We had
Yeah, 96 and
1996 and
97.
97. But he traded it. You know what he got? He got a third, a fifth, and some sevenths to move back.
I actually have in my merch, like I have a closet just full of like signed stuff I give away on the show. I haven't given this away yet. Maybe I'll just send it to you, GreenBean. You'll appreciate this. I have a signed James Farrier mini Jets helmet. I might just give it to you. You'll appreciate it.
Yeah,
James
there you
Farrier
go.
Signed item.
Yeah, James.
A holiday
Farrier.
present.
Oh, it's amazing. And then he wasn't great till he left.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, that's our lot in life. But all right, man, I'm going to bounce out of here, Jake. Thanks for hanging out and hopping on. This was cool, man. I appreciate it.
Well, thanks for the entertainment. I walked back from the Ranger game earlier, so
yeah,
this was fun.
Nice. There you go. Happy to be of service. But with that all said, guys, we're going to hop out of here. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you're new. The sleeper link is in the top of the description. Go ahead and take advantage of that deal. But with that all said, we're going to bounce out of here. Have a good night, everybody. We will see you next time.
I think he's going to be day one, a violent vertical edge setter.